Good evening, Pastor Ruffin here. Welcome to day 7 of reading the Gospels in 30 days. How's your reading coming? Today we're going to talk a little bit about our reading, which is Matthew chapter 19, 20, and 21. We will actually go back to Zechariah 9:9, which is one of the Old Testament references in chapter 21 here with us today. We'll take a look at that together. So let's get started. So chapter 19, Jesus is really laying out some incredible teaching, and it's continuing in his theme of the upside down priorities of the kingdom of heaven. The first shall be last, the last shall be first. The children are important, which is something completely countercultural back then. Jesus puts great emphasis on kids. And there's this teaching on divorce, and at the ending of the teaching, and the Pharisees ask him this question about divorce. They're trying to trap him, and Jesus kind of turns everything on its head, and I love it. It's a great technique. He totally ignores the question at the end when he's giving his answer, and he makes this great case for following Christ in singleness and being committed to Christ in that way in your singleness. It's really cool. Matthew chapter 19. In Matthew chapter 20, we start off with the workers of the vineyard parable, the workers of the vineyard parable. And what Jesus is going to do between chapters 20 and 25 is he's really going to set up the conflict between him and the religious authorities of the day and some of his teachings and things. Jesus predicts his death a third time. We come to to chapter 21, and we read down. Of course, this is Palm Sunday, what we celebrate on Palm Sunday. So we have in Matthew chapter 21, verse 5, and what verse 4? Let's take a look at verse 4. This took place to fulfill what was spoken through the prophet, and this is Zechariah. And verse 5 says this. Say to daughter Zion, see, your king comes to you, gentle and riding on a donkey, on a colt, the foal of a donkey. So then they've got this Old Testament reference. And in my Bible, let's see right here, here's the Old Testament reference A, brings us down to the bottom of the page, which says Zechariah 9:9. So we quickly flip back to Zechariah, which I believe is right before Malachi. So it's the second to last book in the Old Testament. 9 verse 9. So there's this judgment on Israel's enemies in the first half of the chapter, and then there's this incredible prophecy about what the Messiah is going to look like, and it's completely counterintuitive to what everybody thinks the Messiah is going to be for the nation of Israel. So let's see. We'll start in verse 9, but we'll read a little bit more. It goes like this. Rejoice greatly, daughter of Zion. Shout, daughter of Jerusalem. See, your king comes to you, righteous and victorious. That sounds great, right? It's what everybody's looking for. Let's continue. Lowly and riding on a donkey, on a colt, the foal of a donkey. That sounds like what Jesus is riding into Jerusalem. And here is what happens further there. I will take away the chariots from Ephraim and the war horses from Jerusalem. The battle bow will be broken. He will proclaim peace to the nations. His rule will extend from sea to sea and from the rivers to the ends of the earth. So it says the Messiah is going to proclaim not war, but the Messiah is going to bring peace. Pretty cool. So remember to take a look at all of your Old Testament references. There's another reference after this in chapter 21 that I think you'll find a really great look back to in Psalm chapter 118, a messianic psalm. God bless you. Enjoy your reading tonight. We'll see you tomorrow.